Thank you for joining. Good evening, good afternoon, from wherever you are in this beautiful world. Now more than ever, we really need this virtual camaraderie. And this live stream, this YouTube live stream on Sahaja Yoga Meditation is really designed to give us an opportunity to come together, a virtual congregation where we can share notes, we can meditate, we can feel that solidarity that we so desperately need at the time of this unprecedented COVID crisis. We are here to build inner resilience and inner strength that we can lean on as the world around us becomes more difficult, more challenging, and more unpredictable. And we are trying to explore the various techniques of Sahaja Yoga Meditation that actually lean on the natural forces, the earth, the water, the air, and today we will try to access the powers of the fire in the form of the candle. So this will be the cue for the video, the B-roll. So my name is Shamik. I've been your host for a few of these sessions. It's been my great privilege. And I'm joined today by Himani.
Hello.
And, Himani, tell us a little bit about yourself and your life in the daytime, your life as a practitioner of Sahaja Yoga. How did you find Sahaja Yoga Meditation?
First of all, thank you for inviting me into the show, Shamik. It's an honor actually to be on the show and share experiences, real life experiences, because I'm sure my life resonates with many others, many of our viewers that are watching this. I'd say I started meditation, Sahaja Yoga meditation, when I was around 12 years old. I was studying in India, getting ready for my board exams, and it was really hectic. High school certificate exams, very hectic. And my sister, she taught me how to meditate. And the whole idea was that I get good marks because meditation helps with concentration. And I eventually did end up getting some good marks. That was a good thing. However, I did realize that with meditation, I was becoming a better person. I was becoming in tune with myself. And that really helped me because it was not just about studies, it was about life. That's where meditation was useful for me.
Yeah, that sounds so similar right now. My daughter is 9 and she is officially embracing life in Google Classrooms because her school is advising more of the students to stay home if they can. And it's interesting. You could say that stress levels are high as she adapts to life online. So I can really understand that meditation can provide that platform. And this is my advice as a dad to a 9-year-old. Actually, she's 12. I hope she didn't hear that. I keep telling her that, okay, if you're melting down, instead of melting down in front of me, why don't you just sit down, take a breather, meditate and relax. And did you find that kind of a ritual to punctuate the day helped you as you prepared for your exams, or?
Absolutely. I'd say the crux of meditation was balance. That was what I was seeking. It's being balanced in life, it's being balanced in work, it's being balanced in relationships. And I observed that with meditation, I could achieve that. And really, like when I came when I started doing meditation, I was told that meditate once in the morning and once in the evening. And I did realize that actually both the times helped me. In the mornings, for instance, when I'd meditate, I knew that I'm starting the day at a very positive note, in a very balanced state. And hence, anything that would come my way, especially in this life, now that I'm a working professional, my day starts off at a good note. And I know that I can handle the day in a more balanced way. That resilience is much stronger in me. The level of reactions is much less, and they're more positive rather. And the evening meditations is a wonder because it helps me just de-stress from the occurrence of whatever has happened in the day, whether it is work or family or life or even just a bad dish while cooking. Just the evening meditation helps me get rid of that stress and that negative feeling or any of the negative attitudes I may have attained during the day. And that's what makes it very special for me.
Absolutely, especially now, we are all work from home at this point at my workplace. And work from home has its unique advantages, but stretched over days and weeks, it does introduce its own kinds of stresses. So let's just take this opportunity to try it out. Meditation is such an interactive science. So it's probably best that we try it out, kick the tires, and understand and appreciate and experience the power of this form of meditation that Shri Mataji has so generously made available for all of us, really. So let's prepare ourselves. What we're going to do is, for many of us, this will be very familiar. We've tried this form of meditation before. There will be no major departures from what we have seen or heard before. Just the difference being that this is virtual and we're not sitting next to each other at this time. So I'll take my glasses off. For those of us who are bespectacled, it's probably a good idea to close our eyes. Don't really need to stare at a screen for a change. We can open our hands. And our hands are a really, really important instrument, almost like a barometer in this journey that we undertake inwards. So in meditation, we explore our inner spiritual selves to find that reservoir of peace, of resilience and strength and courage. As the world becomes dark and formidable outside, let's look inwards for a place of joy. Let's place the right hand on the heart. And let's just take a moment to feel the beating of the heart. Recognize how resilient and how fragile this life is. We're not thinking or putting any effort into the beating of this heart. And the heart is the seat of our deepest desires, the soul, the Atma, the reflection of a higher consciousness within our finite bodies. At this point in time, when it feels like we are restrained, that we are enveloped by all kinds of negative forces, negative energy, let's have that feeling, that desire that I wish to experience my reality that is beyond this physical body, the emotions, all the chatter in my mind. I wish to experience the joy of my inner spiritual self. Let's take the right hand to the forehead and just cradle the forehead, pressing on the temples as if we were nursing a headache. Meditation is a journey of truth. Meditation is not about hypnosis. It's not a trance, but it is actually an experience of the reality. where frequently gets shrouded in all the noise outside and in our head. At this point in time, let us choose to forgive. I forgive everyone and I forgive myself. This inner spiritual energy, the Kundalini, senses the feelings we have for ourselves. So we cannot harbor anger, hatred, negative emotions about ourselves. This is a time to let go, free ourselves, go beyond the noise in the mind. I forgive myself and I forgive everyone. Now let's massage the skin of the scalp, the crown of the head, firmly, the center of the palm. The clockwise motion describing the spiral path that this Kundalini describes through our nervous system, defying gravity and flowing upwards. Let us have that genuine desire in the heart that I wish to experience the silence of self-realization, the bliss of meditation. And we can allow both hands to rest, palm facing upwards on the lap. Let's remember to breathe as deeply in as we exhale. As we let go of all that fear, doubt, anger, frustration, we find ourselves plunged into a state of relaxation, and a state of stillness inside. We may find that the chatter in the mind is all but silent. And there is this growing sense of deep, endurable peace that's growing within ourselves. We can take a rain check. Raise the right hand a couple of inches above the head. Just get a sense of what we are feeling. Because I can tell you, I wouldn't have believed myself if I said that there is this force that can flow upwards flow through the head and feel cool. Better still, this energy helps us relax and feel complete without any external intervention. We can gradually open our eyes. So I know at this point we're probably facing the kinds of challenges that we wouldn't have imagined a few weeks, a few months ago. Earlier this year in Australia, we faced the challenge of the bushfires and we thought life was tough. But then, boy, little did we know that we were running into this storm. And I'm so glad that we have this amazing technique, this platform of Sahaja Yoga Meditation to help us achieve a certain sense of, I wouldn't say control, but a sense of equilibrium in our lives where everything is out of our control. And as we see everything else falling apart, at least inside, we can feel some sense of peace. So can you tell us a little bit about this concept of balance that you mentioned? Because I thought that was really important. As, you know, everything seems to be out of balance right now. So if you can elaborate on that.
Sure. The way, I'd actually like to quote Shri Mataji here, the way Shri Mataji, the lady in the picture, she's the founder of this meditation, Sahaja Yoga. The way Shri Mataji explained is that we've got two nervous systems in our body, the left sympathetic and the right sympathetic. And in ancient cultures, they've been called the yin and the yang, or the Ida Nadi and the Pingala Nadi. And then there's the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the Sushumna. So as humans, we tend to swing between either the left side or the right side. So either the yin or the yang, or the Sushumna, or Ida or the Pingala. And that's what causes imbalance in us.
So the left is the emotions and the right is the rational side?
Correct,
Okay.
correct. So left is emotional, depressive side of us, and the right is the overactive side of us, overthinking, overactivity, overplanning. And neither of these are actually good for us because we are not in a state of complete balance when we are in either of these two states. And that's where this concept of balance comes in, that you're neither in the left nor in the right. You're actually standing in the balance, which is, you know, where the center of gravity as humans lies. And that's where you're really seeing things the way they are, in totality, in truth, without reacting to them because of any imbalances inside you. And that really helps, really. The state of balance is what you want to achieve because that's who you are. That's, you know, the real you inside you. And that's it.
Yeah, and you know, we've had similar live stream sessions exploring the various forces of nature. And Shri Mataji has talked about how just the natural forces, the elements, can help us achieve that state of balance. So we've had one live stream session on, I think it was the foot soak, where we talked about water. So feel free to check that session out. We talked about water and salt and how just dipping our feet in salt water can help us feel so blissfully relaxed. I know it worked really well for my kids. So I definitely remember that and I can recommend that. And then we've talked about ice, where, as you mentioned, that there are times where we're just feeling angry, we're feeling frustrated, we're feeling a lot of heat inside, and we need to get rid of that heat. So ice comes into the picture at that point in time. But what about fire? How do we access the power of fire? Is that why we have the candles? Are these IKEA candles, by the way? I see a box of 20 Jula from IKEA.
Indeed, these candles are from IKEA and they work really well when doing a treatment such as a candle treatment here. Interestingly enough, the whole concept in Sahaja Yoga is to achieve balance. And when we are in the state of balance, that's when we actually feel cool vibrations in our hands.
So it's not warm, it is actually cool.
It's actually cool. So it's very important to be feeling cool on your hands That's why, you're cool. That's why people say, yeah, you're a cool person, because you're feeling cool on your hands. And the whole concept is to ensure that you feel cool. And that's how you figure out whether you're, as a person, imbalanced or not. If left gets hot, that means your left side is getting into an imbalance. And if right gets hot, that means your right side is in an imbalance. While foot soaking in ice pack can help clear out the right side and bring it to normalized state, the candle actually helps with balancing the left side. So it's a fairly simple treatment. It's really easy. You can have a candle placed like this in a little cup or a bowl, and
We don't really need two, we just need one,
you
right?
literally
This
just
is more
need
for
one.
demonstration.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, should we go into demonstration?
Yeah, I mean, you than me. I'm usually the klutz, so I stay clear of trying to light a candle.
Okay, here we
That
go.
looks pretty neat. So, if let me try and diagnose this and kind of drill deeper into what we are trying to solve for. So, if I'm having a day where I'm just feeling mopey and lethargic and depressed, and I just don't want to get out of bed, is the candle a good thing for me? Or if I'm feeling afraid, does the candle help? Or?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. So lethargic, emotional state is what makes you really heavy, drained, and you want to fix that. And the way you can fix it is by giving a little bit of a kick, and the candle helps with
Wow.
that, and then you come into a balanced state.
That's amazing.
Yeah. However, if you're really aggressive, right-sided, overthinking, over-planning type of a person, you want to cool yourself down, you want to calm yourself down, and then you'd use a different treatment.
Wow. That seems pretty logical. That sounds pretty
It's
logical.
very scientific.
Yeah.
Really, it's very scientific.
It's electronics. I mean, I think I flunked electronics during my engineering days, but that makes complete sense to me. So we should probably take a listen to this excerpt of a speech where Shri Mataji is describing the various forces of nature and how they can be used to establish the state of balance. So let's take a listen.
I'm happy that you all were meditating here and were trying to develop your depth. You all have depth, a very deep personality within yourself. But we have to touch that. That's very important. Because, you see, we sing, have music, that's a very good thing. We enjoy each other's company also is very good. And that's a nice thing. But we have to enjoy our own company also. By meditating, going within yourself. Now, what is the use? One may ask, Mother, now we have got realization, we have a nice life, we are enjoying ourselves, we are doing so well. The deeper you go, the deeper you touch the essences of all the things, like all the elements. When you had finished your meditation, you saw how the rain fell down, how the rain came suddenly. So rain has felt your depth, or you have felt the depth of rain. Now you know that if you light one little candle and put your finger towards it, with my photograph there, it acts, it reacts, and it gives you a flame which burns, sometimes gives you smoke, sometimes it gallops. So you have noticed that there's a reaction even in the fire. So all elements have got an effect. If a saint wants to have an effect. But first of all, you must reach your own essences. Once you reach your own essences, then you reach the essences of all the elements. And then you can handle all the elements as you like, or you can order them as you like. First, they will act, expressing that they have been touched. Like today, the rain came, pouring down. Then, later on, you can command, and you can ask the rain to come, to work out many things. Of that kind, we have to be deep people. We have to go much deeper within ourselves to touch our essences That is, you know very well that all our chakras are made out of these essences. And when we go deep into ourselves, what we find that we can touch the elements very well. While doing so, actually we move horizontally. When we start moving horizontally, at the core of it, we find that there are these essences placed. And these essences then start exciting the essences across. Like in the radio, you have seen there's ether. Now, when you speak on one side of the radio, it gets completely manifested in the essence of the ether, and then everybody can hear it. Now, when you people just give a bandhan, sometimes you find that you have communicated with another person. But that's only the essence of the ether, or we can say the subtler of the subtlest. People have only gone onto the subtler side, we can say, by science, but you go to the subtlest side, and that subtlest side gives you all these effects. Now you have seen also that in some of the photographs, suddenly you find light coming out of my head, or there's somebody shown us with a light, somebody's from the head, the light is coming. You have seen all this. This is done also by the same method, but here the deities like Vishnu Maya works out. She's very active, she works it out, she does all these things. And you know that also, that when they gave me once a beautiful crown in Switzerland, in the sky, they got the photograph of the same, very beautifully done. The crown was there, Fatima's crown, my face, my eyes and everything so clearly. All this is done by Vishnu Maya. So all the essences are working out for you, as well as all the deities are working out for you. They are very anxious that these things should be done, and you are the channels for them to work it out. Now, for example, as I told you the other day, if you don't keep yourself all right, a simple thing I told you to put in the nose some ghee. It's a very simple thing, but that helps me a lot, because that helps my Vishuddhi. But if you don't do it, I suck in any case. Whatever problems you have, I suck in. I suck in the problem of Sahaja Yogis, also the problem of the city where I am, also the problem of the country where I am, maybe of the whole universe. But my horizontal movement is quite large and is very subtle. And I do it quietly. But you must also understand that you can do a lot by your horizontal movement. By horizontal movement, what happens? That you start meditating on a particular subject, which is a very bothersome subject, and which is for the destructive of humanity. Anything. You just put your attention to it and meditate. If you are that deep, that means if your caliber has improved to that extent, you will immediately put an effect on that. Immediately you will see there will be a change. There will be something happening in that direction. This is your power, which you have to actually develop. So we have to meditate. And by meditation, we develop that strength within us. So automatically we start solving the problem. Like our antennae grow up to that point. The way we are strong inside, they grow outside to help so many things which are to be helped. Now you see that people are realizing that the world is in a great mess, and there are lots of problems that have come through materialism, through wrong thinking, through emotional thinking, through stupidity, we can say. We have no time for all this. What we have to do is to develop ourselves deeper and deeper and deeper, so that on horizontal plane also we are effective. Sahaja Yoga, first of all, is for personal improvement, is for the inner improvement as far as the personal side is concerned. Means your intelligence must improve, your temperament must improve, your heart must clear out, your feelings must be all right, then you should, your health should be all right, then your relationship with others should be all right, your ego should go away, your superego should go away. All these things are there. But this only helps a personality, just a personality that is very limited, that is yourself. But now this personality can become an instrument if you can develop that depth within yourself. But normally what happens, people are very much still worried about themselves, say about their wives, about their children, about their husbands or their household or this and that. These are not important things, because we have to be those instruments which are what you call them like pilotless bombs. We have to develop that depth within us. That depth is possible, and you can really cure many problems of your country if you could just meditate on that. Now for today, I had actually sucked in most of the problems which I felt were there in Canberra and later on in that conference and later on here. All these problems came into my understanding, I would say, and I was trying to work on them. My working style is different because I have very sharp and very effective instruments, but I have to pay attention to it, and I little bit suffer also, doesn't matter. Now for you also, it is important that you also develop those deeper feelings within you, deeper sense within you. But mostly people are very superficial type. They just think about their body, their impressions, how they carry themselves. At the most they think we have to be very legal-minded, or we have to be at the most not drinking, not smoking, and all these things are achieved and we have achieved everything. But I think that is not so. And second point is that we think that if we love each other, if we love mother, that is the end of everything. It's not true also. Because your love for me is there, no doubt, and it should be intense, it should be deeper. But the deeper you go into that love, then you will be surprised how you receive a special quality of correcting the things that are wrong around you. Gradually that quality improves. For example, a Sahaja Yogi goes to anybody's house, that house must become auspicious. But such a Sahaja Yogi must have a good heart. If the heart is not good, in the heart there is still anger, passion, lust, greed, then such a heart won't affect. But a person who has purified himself, if he goes into any family, any household, any society, the whole change will take place. The circumstances will change. Things that do not work out will start working out immediately. Like they said, Mother, as soon as you sent from this Sunday, everything started working out as far as the television is concerned and radio is concerned. I didn't do anything, in a way. But that should happen with you also. Wherever a saint goes, things are changing. You have to be a saint. And a saintly person has a very deep understanding of another person. And this is what it is lacking. We don't have that deep understanding for each other. Then even if you have for some of your own friends, or maybe in the same ashram that you are staying in, all that, but it should deepen much more. It should go further and further. Now even if you think of me, it works out. It's the other way around also. But first of all, the meditative process should be increased. We all must meditate. That is very important. Meditate sincerely, not just because we have to meditate, but because we have to be deep, we have to grow within, to express our great powers of divine love, to correct so many things, which you can do very easily. I know you all can do it. There's no need to have big degrees for that, big education for that. Nothing is needed. What is needed is a deep feeling of love for the whole universe. And that changes. All destructive forces change their course, and it is then for the constructive force. But on the whole, that works out much faster if you all do that meditation with sincerity, with intensity, with understanding. Alright? May God bless you. It is much more than our music, much more than my lectures or anything that we have to do. And now the course has to change. I am sure you people will take to the new course. May God bless you for that.
So that made a lot of sense. The way Shri Mataji explains some of these concepts, I mean, she makes it sound very simple. I mean, that's probably the sign of greatness right there, is the most complex concepts are articulated in a way that even the regular Joe can understand. I could understand it, and I'm not the brightest person in the room, but I could really get that. So this may be a good opportunity. Let me ask you a couple of other questions before we try anything different. I noticed that when we try the candle treatment, and I always had a hard time wrapping my head around the candle treatment. And you've tried this before. So you mentioned that if I'm feeling that emotional state, if I'm feeling my emotions are out of control, out of whack, if I'm feeling afraid, the candle comes into picture. Do we keep the candle on a certain side of the body, or does it not matter?
Absolutely. It needs to go into the right side. It needs to be on the correct side of the body. And because candle treatment is for the left side of the body, hence the candle needs to be on the left.
Okay. So left side emotions, and that's where the candle stays.
Has
Okay.
to be.
And what about the candle? I see you have the candle in front of Shri Mataji's photo. Does that help as well? How should we set up our room? Because I think it does help to have a certain space dedicated for meditation. You know, it should be the playroom, or it should be the TV room. If it is possible to have a certain space, how should we set it up?
So Shri Mataji's altar is really, it's a place for us to connect to ourselves. And the way I feel it is, I'll share my experience, and I'm sure everybody has their own experiences. But for me, it's that space where I can feel who I am. It's me, it's connecting it to myself. And I just feel that while I'm dedicating 99% of my day to the world, this 1% of the time, which is just 20 minutes of my day, 10 minutes in the morning, 10 in the evening, they should be special. And hence, having a little altar, I like to call it like an altar, beautiful picture of Shri Mataji in which I can see her as my mother or as my guru or somebody who I can feel comfortable with, really helps. And, you know, I really like to put a flower in front of Shri Mataji's picture because it just beautifies the whole place. And candle is quite significant. So putting a little, I wouldn't say candle, it's the element of fire. And in India, we put like a little diya. In other cultures, they may have different things. In the West, I know candle is readily available, so we can put a candle. So having this element of fire and light really helps, because the chakras in our body, each chakra is related to certain element. Muladhara being the earth, so having a contact with the earth is really important. Feet on the ground, if you're sitting on the chair and meditating, then feet on the ground, flat, apart from each other. Or if you're sitting right on the ground, then your body's already touching.
Right.
Fire helps with the second chakra. It really helps to clear the chakra. The light element is very good for this chakra, which is the Agya.
Oh, okay.
So this is where the light is, and hence having that candle is very important. It's clearing 2 chakras in the body, so it's quite significant.
Absolutely. I mean, who would have thought the simple candle could be so powerful?
True.
Would you mind leading us through a meditation? Because I have to say that, especially this past week, with all the news that we are bombarded with, the general atmosphere, I think, is leaning more towards fear. If there's one word to describe the overall sentiment, it would be fear. So since fire helps us overcome some of that negative energy, if you don't mind leading us through a meditation, that would be awesome.
Sure, we can definitely do a meditation. So what we'll do is we'll just keep both our hands open in our lap. It's important that we feel the vibrations. We've got a picture of Shri Mataji, so meditating in front of Shri Mataji's picture really helps, because her picture is emitting the vibrations that we are feeling. And what we'll do is we'll work particularly on our left side, since this session is about left side. I'll show you how we do the candle. Because we have a fire element here, it's important that we keep our eyes open in this particular session for very practical reasons of safety, and also to ensure that we understand our solar system quite well. So when we have when we are working with the candle, it's important that it's in front of us, placed in a way that it's close to the left thumb here, or any of the left fingers. I particularly like the left thumb, it's the base. And one way we can clear the left side is by keeping the left hand open in our lap in front of Shri Mataji's picture, right hand dropped towards the ground. So this is a nice way to clear the left side. And once you feel you're comfortably placed in this way, that's when you can close your eyes, take your attention on top of your head, and in your heart ask Mother, please remove all imbalance, all emotional problems, all negative thoughts of the past from inside me. Mother, please remove. And as we work, we can ask Mother, please remove all negativities, negative feelings, negative emotions that are blocking my heart. Please remove all negativities that are stopping the flow of joy from my heart. When our heart is open, we feel joyful, and that's what we want to feel. And in this way, we can work through the entire left side of our body using the candle. A very good way to get rid of the thoughts is by looking through the candle, actually looking at Shri Mataji's picture. So the light element in the candle really helps. And once you feel ready, you're ready with the clearance you've done, you can again close your eyes and meditate. It's very important to meditate. The treatment itself helps to clear out, but to ensure that you gain the strength of clearance, it's important to meditate. So we'll just take our attention back on top of our head and meditate for a few moments. And you'll feel the peace settling inside you, and you'll feel joyful inside you once you've cleared yourself and established in meditation. That's it. It's as simple as that.
Thank you so much. That was great. And I'm so glad you pointed out that it's important to meditate, because too often we tend to get wrapped up in the mechanics of the processes that, okay, I'm going to do steps 1, 2, 3. Was there a 4? Was there a 5? And the mind continues to get wrapped up in those machinations. But meditation, I'm so glad that you pointed out that it is the silence that begins after we have achieved that state of balance. So balance is kind of the platform, and then kind of take a leap from there. That was really, really powerful. I really enjoyed it. I know I needed it. Thank you so much. And I hope for all of our visitors, all of our participants, the experience was equally, if not even more powerful. We have a lot more rich data available, information available on freemeditation.com. And the next session will be next Sunday. Most likely it'll be the same time, but stay tuned to freemeditation.com.au for the current updates. And we look forward to joining you again in the virtual space, continuing our battle with COVID and staying blissful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.